Mr. President, is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. Not right now, no.
Not a negotiating tool?
No, it's not. No, it's a pure economic. We have big deficits with, as you know, with all three of them. And in one case, they're sending massive amounts of fentanyl, killing hundreds of thousands of people a year with the fentanyl. And in the other two cases, they're making it possible for this poison to get in, number one. And number two, we have big deficits, and it's something we're doing. And we'll possibly very substantially increase it or not. We'll see how it is. But it's a lot of money coming to the United States. As you know, we have about a $200 billion deficit with Canada, getting close to $200 billion. They've treated us very unfairly. And I say, why should we be subsidizing Canada? It's wonderful. I have so many friends in Canada. It's a great place.
Is there a concession you're looking for, sir?
No, we're not looking for a concession. And we'll just see what happens.
Tonight, President Trump, as threatened, has hit most imports from the United States' top three trading partners with tariffs of up to 25%. Billions of dollars worth of goods are affected. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation says tariffs could cost the average American family $830 a year. CBS's Willie James Inman is in West Palm Beach, near where President Trump is spending the weekend. Willie James?
Nancy, good evening to you. President Trump delivering on a key campaign threat, imposing punishing tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico, a move that economists warn will raise prices for Americans.
Pay close attention to the media slant and coordination. Let me repeat that again. Pay close attention to the media's slant and coordination of President Trump's tariffs. Now we see already this reporter has characterized President Trump's campaign promises as threats. Let me say that again. President Trump is following through on campaign promises with these tariffs he's imposing upon Canada, Mexico, and China. But watch how the media, the legacy/state-sponsored media, has aligned itself against the president to paint this in the minds of Americans that this is not a good idea. This will hurt you. They're not focusing on how it will eventually help the United States, but they're trying to paint this in the minds of Americans against the president.
President Trump throwing the first punch in a fight with America's largest trading partners. Imports from Canada and Mexico will be hit with a tariff of 25%. Imports from China, 10%. The president says the tariffs are a reaction to illegal migration, illicit fentanyl, and trade deficits.
Number one is the people that have poured into our country so horribly and so much. Number two are the drugs, fentanyl, and everything else.
Government data shows over 21,000 pounds of illicit fentanyl was seized at the U.S. southern border during fiscal year 2024. But only 43 pounds of the drug was seized at the Canadian border. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the country is at a critical moment.
We're ready with a response, a purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response.
Nearly 30% of all imports to the U.S. come from Canada and Mexico. Experts say prepare for sticker shock on everything from Mexican tequila and avocados to Canadian-supplied car parts, energy, and lumber.
A tariff at the end of the day for Americans, it's a tax. There will be pain for Americans at the gas pump and other places.
Now, back to the media. Slant and coordination. Remember those two words, slant and coordination. Now, if you watch all of the mainstream liberal media outlets, they're going to be coordinated in their attack against the president's tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China. Look how they characterize the president's decision making. And I want you to pay attention to the coordination, not only in our mainstream medias, all these different outlets, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and so on and so forth. Even on the radio outlets, you're going to hear this over and over and over and over, almost as if it's a mockingbird. Hint, hint, hint. So Pay close attention as you watch this, whether you're a Trump fan or not, whether you voted for Trump or not. Pay attention how the media is manipulating this story to get the American people to turn against the president and not support him. I'm going to show you why this is important, because in this video, I'm going to show you how Canada's media edited out a gentleman that was in the original video. He didn't, when I say edited out, they didn't physically remove him. They just zoomed in where you couldn't watch the expressions on his face. Because as Trudeau was trying to sell his tariffs response to the U.S. to the Canadians, it didn't look good. Optically, it was not a good look. And I'm going to show you.
Bonsoir. Good evening. Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy. A decision that, should they elect to proceed with, should take effect on Tuesday, February 4th. Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery stores and gas at the pump.
Justin, first of all, you're the outgoing prime minister. We don't need you trying to co-lead America. We have our leader. Okay, his name is President Donald Trump. You don't need to tell us how this may impact us. If we need to know, we'll hear it from our press secretary, Caroline Levitt, or we'll hear it from the president himself, unlike the previous administration.
Unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more.
Look at these two guys and the young lady. Look at them during this entire press conference. Trudeau has no idea what's going on behind him. The media sees it. You know how we know this? It's because I'm going to show you a second video that's done by another outlet. And in this press conference, they're going to zoom in and edit out the gentleman to the right of Justin Trudeau, but to the left of those watching this video content.
Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy. Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Now, why did they edit him out? Why did they zoom in? See, my guy was not displaying his poker face. Everyone behind Trudeau was supposed to display their poker face, and they weren't doing that. If I were a betting man, I would say they don't have the hand that they think they've been dealt. They don't have the poker hand to play this. They're trying to pretend they have a flush when they're not sitting on anything. Watch how this all plays out. And I want you to pay attention. Slant coordination. Slant coordination. You're going to even hear Justin Trudeau mock some of the same media talking points in the United States during his own press conference, which tells you this is state-sponsored coordination with the media and the Prime Minister of Canada. You have the media turning against its own people. No one is standing on Trump's side unequivocally. Everyone it's a wait and see, but while we wait, we think this could go south, Americans, and you all need to know that, rather than push the upside of how this is going to turn out for Americans in the end. And if that's putting more money in Americans' pockets, then this was a great move. Now, obviously, some will say, well, if it doesn't, it was a bad move. I don't think our president will put, and with an America First agenda, I don't think President Donald Trump would put us in that position. He's not going to risk all of these lives he campaigned for state by state, county by county, province by province. He's not going to put his political capital on the line like that if he didn't think he could win.
Gotcha. Gotcha.